Hello and welcome to vlog number 133. I've been playing around with the settings of my neurostimulator this week, changing the settings over to other programs in an attempt to prevent them from soaking in and having an adverse effect on my speech. Reducing the voltage of the stimulation, trying to avoid slurring my words like a drunk, whilst retaining a modicum of tremor control. I've even turned my device off at bedtime on a couple of occasions, to give my brain a break from constant stimulation, using cannabis to calm my tremor and enable me to get off to sleep. I decided against turning it off every night though, because if I wake up during the night after the effects of the cannabis have worn off, which is a frequent occurrence, then it is impossible to get back to sleep due to my severe tremor, without switching my DBS back on, or taking more cannabis, neither of which I want to be fiddling around doing at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. I have been partially successful in that I have been able to recover some of the benefits given to me by the recent shakedown of the settings of my neurostimulator, albeit at the expense of some tremor control. Although I know that when I'm getting tired, the clarity of my speech declines sharply, regardless of which settings my device is using. This has really been brought home to me this week, because I've been helping my wife out on her trade stand for her soft furnishings business at the Royal Norfolk Show this week. When I say helping out, I mean that I was there to offer moral support. I spent the vast majority of the time sitting on a chair at the back of the stand. I found the long days extremely tiring, regardless of the fact that I was not physically doing very much at all. I had a recent request from YouTube user Fernandez Rise to produce a vlog about the treatment of fatigue in Parkinson's disease. My first instinct was to simply refer him to vlog number 82, Fatigue in Parkinson's disease. But then I thought about the way that fatigue affects my voice, so I'm giving him a name check on that basis. I can tell when my voice is starting to become less distinct by the expressions on the faces of people that I'm trying to communicate with. You see their brows furrow with concentration as they struggle to decipher the sounds that are coming from my mouth, followed by a display of relief in their eyes when they manage to make sense of it. As my fatigue increases, so my intelligibility decreases, until I end up talking complete broken biscuits and having to repeat myself multiple times. At this stage I find myself avoiding conversation. Trying to make myself understood becomes too much of an effort. So, why does my voice deteriorate so much when I get tired? I can feel that my tongue isn't moving properly as my muscles become fatigued. It is much slower and doesn't get where it needs to get to in order to enunciate clearly. I can, with much effort, utilise strategies recommended by the speech therapist, slowing down and exaggerating the articulation of speech. But it is really a strain to do so, and eventually increasing fatigue means that the intelligibility of my speech is extremely poor. Combined with the impact that stimulation from my DBS has upon my speech, you can perhaps understand why I avoid conversation at times, and communication issues are common in PD, leading to social isolation amongst those affected. As far as what can be done to reduce fatigue goes, the only advice I've ever been given is to rest, which is kind of obvious, although it conflicts with other advice, which is to build muscle tone through exercise, which then leads to fatigue. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or have a topic that you'd like me to cover in future vlogs, just leave me a message in the comments and I'll do my best to respond. Have a great week. See you next Friday.